It turns out that during Bill Clinton's 8 years in the White House, he secretly created an oral history of his presidency by tape recording conversations with a longtime friend and author. A new book based on those conversations provides a revealing look inside the Clinton presidency.
I, William Jefferson Clinton.
During Bill Clinton's presidency, the nation prospered. He worked to broker peace in the Middle East and in the Balkans, championed welfare reform, and signed the NAFTA free trade agreement.
We are ready to compete, and we can win.
But his presidency was marred by numerous investigations, a lawsuit brought by Paula Jones charging sexual harassment, and the Monica Lewinsky scandal. Through it all, the president chronicled those events in confidential tape-recorded conversations with friend and historian Taylor Branch. And joining us now is the author of the Clinton tapes, Wrestling History with the President, Pulitzer Prize-winning author Taylor Branch. Good morning.
Good morning, Harry.
How many trips did you make to the White House for these sessions?
79 that actually resulted in full-fledged oral histories. There were a few extra ones that were aborted, but 79 full ones over the course of the 8 years.
You're in and out of this White House all these dozens and dozens of times during the Clinton presidency. Is there a way to characterize what these conversations were like?
They were always an adventure because you never knew what you were going to find. He talked about lots of different subjects, and you never knew what he was going to be doing. He might be talking about a missile strike or helping Chelsea with her homework.
Wow.
So you never knew what was going to happen each time.
He kept the tapes, but when you left these sessions, what did you do?
I popped another tape into my recorder that I had just used to record him and recorded every memory I could have driving home to Baltimore.
From these almost 80 conversations.
That's right.
So many places I want to hit, and I want to start with the Lewinsky scandal. What was he like during that time?
Well, there was a lot of stress. He also, not surprisingly, didn't schedule sessions right after the Lewinsky scandal broke, or right after he confessed in the summer of 1998. Mm-hmm. So I didn't see him until October. By then, I think he was a little bit more recovered.
Right.
But he talked about it seldom and painfully.
Was he remorseful?
Absolutely. He said, I cracked.
He cracked.
That was the phrase he used.
Mm-hmm. What do you think he meant by that?
I think he meant just what he said. A little later, he said he felt sorry for himself, that he thought he had beaten down all the scandals, and then they would keep reviving and coming back. This was the time of Chinagate and allegations about Al Gore in a Buddhist temple, and he just said it's never going to stop.
Never going to stop. As he was leaving the White House, there was, of course, the election with Al Gore and George Bush. What was his assessment of George Bush the younger?
It was quite interesting. Early on in the 2000 primaries, he said he thought George Bush and John McCain, who were the
right.
chief rivals, were mirror images, that McCain was qualified to be president but had no idea how to run, and that Bush, the reverse, had shrewd political instincts, but he didn't think he had the moxie to be a president.
He called him an empty suit, I think.
Called him an empty suit.
Yeah. Recount the confrontation then between Al Gore and Bill Clinton after the election.
That was a surprise. I didn't know to ask about that, because sometimes he would just tell me. He said, Al Gore came in, I want to put on the record, we had a 2-hour knockdown from both sides about who was responsible for losing the 2000 election, back and forth.
Because Clinton wanted Gore to use him.
Clinton wanted Gore to use him more, and Clinton wanted Gore to use a different strategy and to run on the record, saying you're not going to win if you don't run on this record.
And fascinating insight into one of our more fascinating presidents. Taylor Branch, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Do appreciate it.